What you haven't mentioned is the fact that we were in the emergency room for 14 hours.
Blood clot. Does she or doesn't she?
The start of the story starts on Wednesday. But Wednesday afternoon, evening, going into the night, I started getting this shoulder pain. At first it was like just and then it started getting really, really bad. I was just bouncing on my Fitball. And yeah, the shoulder pain was getting really bad. I kept complaining to Luke about it, but I don't think he realised how bad it was. I literally couldn't breathe.
It sounded like you were just hinting for a massage because you're just sitting there playing game like, my shoulder hurts. Babe, really hurts. Babe, my shoulder hurts.
It was really, really sore.
I know,
and
but I
knew...
assumed you just wanted a massage.
Oh no, I knew it wasn't muscular.
Because if we didn't say it's not muscular, I don't know what it is. I just assumed you had a short shoulder and you wanted a massage.
But yeah, and then I had to do some work, so I went into the office and worked from 10 to 11. I should have gone a bit longer, but the shoulder pain was getting quite bad at this point. I was also doing voiceovers, that's my job. So like trying to breathe when I have shoulder pain was really hard, so I just gave up working at 11. I've had this pain before. Back in May last year, I had a hysterectomy and a laparoscopy for... Yeah, it is. Not hysterectomy, cystectomy.
Same thing.
I had 2 cysts removed from my ovaries and obviously a big, not big, but operation on my abdomen. During the operation, a bit of gas got stuck in my abdomen when they closed me up. It's quite common. But the gas sort of went up to my phrenic nerve, which is all pushed up because I've got a belly now. Which is just under your, like just along your diaphragm, under your ribs.
Yeah.
Your diaphragm is what is like a thin membrane, and it's literally the surface tension of the diaphragm pulling down is what inhales your lungs. What was I saying? You distracted me again. So yeah, it was basically the gas that got trapped in my abdomen was just irritating a nerve in the bottom of my diaphragm, the phrenic nerve. And the phrenic nerve basically runs up your chest and through your shoulder before obviously going to your brain where all nerves go. And so basically I was having pain and gas in my stomach, but I was feeling the pain as a pinpoint in my shoulder, which is really weird and sort of cool. It's like, oh, you've got shoulder pain, there's something wrong with your belly. But I have had this pain before. Obviously at the time it was just wait for the gas to be absorbed by my body and just wait for it to go away. And I sort of assumed that baby had just wriggled and kicked my phrenic nerve or something and irritated it that way, and that's why I had the shoulder pain. Yeah, I took Panadol at 10 o'clock before I started working and it didn't do anything. The pain got worse after that. So I rang up the antenatal clinic, basically just asking and double checking that baby can cause the phrenic nerve to be irritated. I assumed he could, but I just wanted to double check because I was in a lot of pain. And she didn't really know what she was talking about. Like, she just didn't know what I was talking about with the phrenic nerve, which makes sense. Like, it's not really baby related. So I called up Health Direct, which is like a 24/7 nurses helpline where you can just get like medical advice on whether you should wait till morning to see a GP or go into the ER or take Panadol, not take Panadol, just like basic stuff from registered nurses. So I rang them up and she basically just said, take Panadol and I'll get a GP to ring you. If the GP doesn't ring you, I want you to see a doctor within 2 hours. This is at like 11. So she was like, so pretty much just go to hospital because you can't really see a doctor at 1 a.m. in the morning. So I waited and the GP rang me pretty quickly and...
Yeah, it was so quick.
Yeah, she said it'd take half an hour to an hour. And if he didn't ring within 2 to get seen. He was really quick to call. And he was basically like, baby can't cause that. He was worried I might have had a gallstone. Pregnancy hormones slow everything down, including your liver function. If your liver function slows down a bit, your gallbladder, which is like a little storage device for your liver, obviously starts to build up and has trouble keeping up with everything slowing down. And you can get gallstones really easily in pregnancy, apparently. You're just more prone to getting them. And me being like a couple of days off due, he was like, you really need to get seen ASAP because this could be an issue for you. So he told me to go into the ER. So I went into the ER. We went into the ER. Luke took me in. So yeah, we went into the ER. Didn't take too long. We got seen to by a midwife really quickly. She checked.
15 minutes.
Yeah, she checked baby, just double checked me.
12 minutes actually.
12 minutes?
Well,
okay.
we got admitted at 12:32. And I was looking at my phone when she came in, it was 12:44.
Okay, yeah, so we got seen by a midwife really quickly, but obviously I needed to be seen by a doctor, so we had to wait there longer. Baby was fine. She did measure him at 42 weeks. And was like shocked by that. She was like, have you always measured ahead? And I was like, no. So that's great.
Big boy.
He's massive according to her, but my normal midwife hasn't said what he's measuring at, but she hasn't been concerned with his measurements. So I don't know. Might have just been the way I was laying that time or something. In the last weeks of pregnancy, your fundal height measurements can actually go down because baby's dropped further into your pelvis, so it just brings everything down. And I'm sort of thinking that because I was doing spinning babies technique, because Bub is posterior, he's spun around, his back is meant to be at my tummy and it's at my back. I was doing spinning babies technique, which can sometimes bring them up out of the pelvis a bit so they can turn. So I'm thinking maybe what happened was because I'd just been doing the spinning babies, he'd come up a bit and pushed my fundal height a bit higher. Yeah, we did take a while to be seen through. Oh, we didn't take too long to be seen through, did we? Like, we got to bed fairly quickly.
An hour and a half.
Yeah, we got to bed fairly quickly. Like, it was within 2 hours that I was put into the actual emergency department.
Well, we were definitely... I'm pretty sure we were at that place at the back at like 1:30, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So it'd be like half an hour to an hour.
Yeah, it was really quick.
But then we were there for a while.
But then we were there for a while. I had my blood pressure and all that checked. The doctor came and had the same idea as me, phrenic nerve pain causing the shoulder pain, and she was like, I'm just going to go get a second opinion before you can go, and I'll go double check to see if there's any like nerve pain specific painkillers you can take that like targets nerve pain. So she came back and was like, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Baby shouldn't really cause the pain you're talking about, so we need to rule out a whole bunch of things. Yeah, she put a cannula in my arm, took some blood, and... Oops, sorry.
Shoulder pain.
She put a cannula in my arm, took some blood, and basically just wanted to check, I assume, my bilirubin levels and all that stuff, to check my kidneys and my liver function, just to make sure there wasn't anything they could see in my blood work going on there that was causing the pain, or like check for inflammation, white blood cells, that stuff. But she also wanted to check for blood clots, and that's where everything got really difficult, because usually what you do to check for blood clots is a D-dimer test. Dimer. It's literally D-D-I-M-E-R. Yeah, okay, so if you get a blood clot, your body breaks down the blood clot, and the D-dimer is like a protein given off when your body breaks down the blood clot. So if your blood has been clotting, you're more likely to have D-dimers present in your blood. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So obviously you do a D-dimer test. If it comes back positive, then you then get blood thinners and all that stuff. Yeah, a blood test called D-dimer is used to rule out a blood clot in people who are not pregnant. Those who test positive are then given an appropriate scan. The accuracy of the test is unclear for pregnant women as the level of D-dimer increases throughout pregnancy. I was I was a couple of days off full term, so obviously my D-dimer was highly likely to come back positive even if I didn't have a blood clot. And if it came back positive, they had to treat it as positive. So obviously I couldn't do the D-dimer. So she sent me for a chest x-ray, which obviously dangerous for Bub, but the actual level in a single x-ray isn't that bad, and Bub's full term, so The actual the actual development stage of bub is where X-rays and radiation is actually the most dangerous for them. So I still had an iron shield across my belly, which was really awkward because it didn't fit across my belly. I'm like,
It's very too big.
my belly was too big to fit in the pregnancy shield. It was so stupid. I had to hold it and like trying to hold it whilst also pushing your chest against the thing. It was so stupid. But anyway, I went for a chest X-ray. Sorry, because they wanted to obviously rule out like there's a bone there that they wanted to make sure wasn't damaged. And they just wanted to double check that they couldn't see anything on the X-ray that was causing shoulder pain.
That could be causing shoulder pain.
Unfortunately, the X-ray was clear.
Yeah, no, if it wasn't, it would have been so much easier.
Yeah. I mean, I probably would have had something broken, but...
Yeah. Toughen up, princess.
Yeah, the X-ray came back clear, but it took forever to get the results back. So we got the X-ray results back, got the blood test results back, and everything was clear, which you'd think would be good, but it meant that they'd ruled out
all the possible things they thought it was.
Yeah, they ruled out everything except a blood clot. And blood clots are obviously really, really bad. They cause stroke, heart attack, pulmonary embolism, which is literally where your lungs die very suddenly.
Death.
Deep vein thrombosis, death. Pretty much everything really serious. Because your blood is just not meant... Your body needs blood supply. A clot stops the blood supply to a certain part of your body, which causes all these problems. I didn't have any of the main risk factors like recent surgery, clotting disorders, heart problems, being on long plane flights, anything like that. Yeah. But I was pregnant and that's a risk factor. Your blood naturally clots better when you're pregnant, apparently. So that wasn't great. Because they had to rule out a blood clot, because if I had a blood clot, it's literally fatal and almost instant. Like it's really, really lucky if people come in with a suspected blood clot, because it's instant, like it's an instant thing that can almost instantly cause death.
They had to rule that blood clot because it's bad.
The problem is the D-dimer wouldn't really work, and I couldn't go for a CT scan because of the radiation and risk to bub. But when all the other tests came back negative, they then got the pediatric obstetricians on board. But anyway, I had an obstetrician come check me, and then there was also a team of pediatrics working on my case in the background. I never met them, but they were helping out. And they basically finally decided that the risk of me having a blood clot and it going undiagnosed was way worse than the risk to bub, since he's full term, and there was some like precautionary actions we could take to protect him from the CT radiation. So I ended up going for a CT scan, and oh my gosh, it was the worst thing ever.
The CT scan?
Not the CT scan so much as the drink beforehand. A friend of mine is a nursing student at the hospital I was at, so she came in on her break and visited me whilst Luke went to sort out parking, because it's 4-hour parking and we'd been there. By this point it was after 11. But yeah, she came and visited me while Luke was sorting out the parking and having his own lunch, because I'd been fed breakfast but he hadn't been fed much except my leftovers. But yeah, the nurse came in carrying this huge ass industrial white container bottle thing and a cup. And she was like, hold this, pass me the cup. And I was sitting on the bed and I held the cup, and then she took the lid off the bottle, and all these like flakes of like white paint stuff just floated down across me, and I was like, okay.
Is that it?
You missed the majority of it.
I missed the bad bit. I just came back and there was like white stuff all over your lips and stuff over your legs, and the look on your face was like...
Basically, she started pouring, and at first it was okay, and then there was like big chunks coming out, and it was like the consistency of really thick paint.
Like when you pour paint, it goes glue.
Yeah, really thick paint. And it had like grit. I honestly didn't believe I was having to drink it. I don't think my friend, am I allowed to say Chloe's name?
I'm sure Chloe won't mind.
Okay.
Her name's Chloe.
Yeah, my friend Chloe. I don't even think she believed I was meant to drink it. Like, oh my gosh, I just couldn't comprehend that this was something I had to drink. But it was coming out. I don't
pour
know.
it over your belly. It's
I don't know. Like, I assumed it was something I had to take, but it was just in an industrial cleaner bottle. And then, like, it came out and it didn't look like something I could safely drink. Yeah, she then was like, okay, you need to drink this and you need to drink this as quick as you possibly can. You're going for your CT in about half an hour and this is barium. It will literally,
Coats your stomach.
Radiation has trouble penetrating through barium. So I had to drink it so that it coated my stomach lining and added like an extra protection internally.
Pretty sure that like describes how bad it is. Radiation struggles to get through
Yeah,
it.
radiation can't get through it. And I had to drink it. It was so bad. When I took my first sip and it was actually okay. Like the texture was weird. It was like cement. Like literally it had like grit and it was chunky like sand and really, really thick.
When I came back you had like white powder on your lips.
Yeah, and it went powdery. Like I wiped it off my face and wiped it on my leg and it just turned to powder. It was so weird.
Like you were like mixing mortar or something.
Mixing mortar. I thought you said water. Yeah, it was like cement. Like white cement, liquid cement, not hardened obviously, but
well, on your lips it looked quite hard.
Yeah, it was really gross. But the first sip, it didn't taste that like it tasted bad, but it wasn't as bad as I
expected.
Yeah, it was just yeah, it was sort of like toothpaste. But then that, you know when you get a really, really strong toothpaste?
I genuinely eat my toothpaste.
Yeah, but like when you get a really, really strong toothpaste and it like burns your mouth a bit.
Burns your throat sometimes.
Yeah, when it burns your throat.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like that, but extreme levels. And that was actually the problem I had with it. It was literally like I can have chili. It was the hottest chili, like it was burning all my throat and my tongue and my mouth, and because I had to drink it quickly, so I couldn't just sit there and like let it burn my mouth and just wait before swallowing. I had to like scull it, which is really hard when it's really thick as well. Like it's actually difficult to swallow it because it's just thick concrete.
It's actually all stomach cramps, diarrhea, nausea, vomiting, constipation, weakness, pale skin, sweating.
More items. Yeah, she was like, this is probably going to make you feel really sick and you'll get really bad constipation afterwards. You need to drink heaps, but you need to do this for Bub right now.
How does it cause both diarrhea and constipation?
Because it irritates your stomach lining, which causes diarrhea. But it also, in generally causes constipation.
Okay.
But yeah, so that was disgusting. Chloe actually videoed me on Snapchat, so I think I have the video. She sent it to me.
Oh, I want to see that.
Only for a short time because apparently I had it all over my teeth. Like I couldn't swallow it or like get it off my teeth because it was like coating.
You definitely have it on your lips.
Ugh.
It was all over your lips when I came back. I was very disgusted.
Yeah, it like dried on my lips.
Disgusting.
I literally went to the toilet and got like paper towel and wet it and was like scrubbing my lips and I couldn't get it off.
Wait, no, look at it, ready? I thought it was glue.
I like how all this drama happened. I was literally there the entire time. I
Yeah.
left for 10 minutes to get lunch and then all hell breaks loose.
Yeah. But it was shortly after that Chloe had to leave because she was working.
I came back.
Luke came back and I went to get my CT scan. That wasn't pleasant. They didn't warn me at all about the side effects of the CT scan. I assumed they just got caught up in protecting baby and forgot to tell me what was going to happen.
What were the side effects?
Well, I didn't know this happened, but I looked it up later and it's completely normal and happens all the time and they should have warned me. But he gave me the contrast through my cannula, which I was slightly concerned about because the other doctor said they were going to give me an oral contrast, not
Yeah, she made a point of that.
She made a point of it. But he gave me the contrast through my cannula and I double checked. I was like, am I not getting an oral contrast? And he was like, no, I do it through the cannula.
Should have told him the doctor told me I was getting it orally.
He did have a senior checking with him.
Yeah, no, but maybe
But,
they
yeah.
weren't in contact with the actual doctor who...
Yeah, maybe. But he
Okay.
didn't have an oral contrast to give me. But yeah, so whatever. That I wish I pressed the point and like asked why, but I didn't. Too late now. That he put me in the thing, and I was like, I was laying on an iron shield, and I had another one draped over the top of me, and stupid child started kicking. And I had to hold perfectly still, and he kept kicking, and he was like making the shield slide off my belly, and I was sitting there like, you idiot, just stop. Like, I was freaking out because he was literally kicking the shield off himself. But anyway, he was doing that. Sorry, I forgot. But like, he was doing that, and I was freaking out because he was like wriggling up high, and I was like, no, go down the bottom, get away from the CT scan. Yeah, but I'm sure it'll be fine. The only problem the only thing it can actually cause, and it's really low risk of it doing any damage, is problems with his bone marrow. But yeah, that's like it at this stage of pregnancy. No one warned me about the side effects of the contrast.
No one... I thought they said it might make you feel sick.
Did they?
I thought they said
Yeah.
the contrast might make you feel sick.
It made me feel sick because I'm pregnant. I already felt sick. Ow.
Don't start.
I missed a bit. I completely missed about getting my legs ultrasounded.
I thought that was after the CT.
No, it was before the CT.
We'll
They
get back
wanted to. I'll come back to that, and sorry, future self, it has to edit it in. But when he did 2 lots of the contrast, and
Shut up!
he was like, you might feel a bit flushed and hot for a second, and I was like, oh, okay. And at first, yeah, my face, it felt like I was like blushing heaps, and I felt really hot, but then it literally felt like I peed myself. Like completely like wet, hot, wet, moist sensation all over like this area and down my legs and stuff. And I was like, I was just sitting there like, did I seriously just pee myself? Because obviously I didn't feel like I'd peed myself. I was holding my bladder, like I didn't need to pee, I just peed as well. So I was like, what the hell, how did I pee myself? And if I did, how did I pee myself that much? Because it literally felt like it went everywhere. And I was like, that is so embarrassing. Like, thank goodness I'm pregnant, because at least I have an excuse. But yeah, and then I got up and there was no pee. And I was like, oh, maybe it didn't soak through. And then yeah, no, but it literally felt so much like I peed myself. And I like went to the toilet straight away when I got back after the CT, when they dropped me back. And I didn't pee myself. Yeah, I ran. But I didn't pee myself. Yeah, I ranted on Facebook later about my life update, and someone was like, they really should have gone through the side effects of...
Yeah, I reckon they were just rushing everything.
Yeah, they were like, it was just crazy. Like, apparently that's something they meant to go through with you.
Well, yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I would have liked to have known that I didn't actually pee myself, and that's just what it feels like. But like, I was so embarrassed for so long because I thought I had. But it also made me feel really not well. And I don't know if it was like the barium kicking in or the contrast, but one of them, I'm assuming the barium, just because...
Barium could still be in your system right away.
How long does it take to get out?
2 to 3 days.
But yeah, something made me feel really not well in the stomach. I did have to like ask Chloe to get me a vomit bag just in case I threw up the barium when I took it. But yeah. I now need to backtrack to what happened before the CT scan. Because I forgot to mention this bit, but they also sent me for ultrasounds of my legs, because if I have a blood clot, there's a chance, like in my chest, there's a chance there'll be one in my legs. It's called deep vein thrombosis.
Thrombosis.
If you watch Dr. House, that's what he had, the thing that caused all his leg muscle to die. But yeah, so
TBT.
I literally had to strip down to my undies and get my entire, both legs just completely ultrasounded. So my legs were very, very, very lubey. The arteries and the veins are like little black circles, or sort of circles, in the middle of the muscle, and basically what happens is she would squeeze my leg or press down on my leg, and the veins, because they don't have much pressure in them, they would close, but apparently if there is a blood clot there, they wouldn't have closed. So she was going along and literally checking like every vein in my leg, squeezing it to see if it closed, and then some of them didn't close, and that's because they were arteries, but you could see they were arteries because they were pulsating, because there's heartbeat and pressure and turbulence going through them. So yeah, it was really interesting. We were like chatting about all the muscles and stuff. So I got my legs ultrasounded, that came back clear, thus we went on to the CT. Skip forwards because we've already talked about CT, this is going to be so annoying to edit. But yeah, the CT finally came back and it was clear. I don't have a blood clot, I'm not dying, and they sent me home.
This all took 14 hours, by the way.
All I wanted was, like, I don't know, Panadol.
They gave you Panadol. We had Panadol at home.
Yeah.
All she wanted was the pain to go away, and all they told us was, you're not dying.
Yeah, they sort of... I do hate that... Like, I do understand it because, like, obviously they want to rule out worst case scenario and they don't want their patient to die. But I came in...
For shoulder pain.
For shoulder pain, and they didn't address the shoulder pain whatsoever. They just checked to make sure I wasn't dying, which is great. I would like them to do that. But I also would have liked...
them to do that.
I also would have liked to have some chat even about the shoulder pain. That's basically what happened. I came home still in pain and it still hurts, but it's not as bad. I just realised I haven't even said what pain was like. With like the
It hurt.
It hurt a lot. There was some points where I was like in a lot of pain. But the worst thing about it was the fact that it was when I breathed.
Oh, you never mentioned that.
I know, I just realised I didn't mention that. But like, it got worse and it got better. Like, it did waver a bit. But it was always at its worst when I breathed in too deep.
Yeah.
And so I felt like I was having really shallow breaths and like I couldn't breathe properly. But yeah, I ended up with endone, which is oxycodone.
I missed work, by the way.
Yeah. Luke had to skip work because we didn't finish till after 1:30.
So I ended up in the hospital for 14 hours at 39 weeks and possibly 5 days pregnant, which is really not what you want to do because you need to be sleeping as much as possible, and I didn't sleep at all the entire time I was there. So that wasn't cool. I got given one endone, which took the pain away for like half an hour, and then that was it. And it was just a really pointless trip. Great that I ruled out blood clots and bad stuff, but it was pointless. I was still in pain when I left, and that's the end of the story. I know it was really boring, but I hope you enjoyed.